Welcome back to Transfer Review, everybody. The show where we put silly season under the microscope. Joining me today is Sam Abasaki. How's it going, mate?
I'm good, my brother. I'm just here, as I can be, just chilling. Enjoyed the Chelsea win, regardless of the performance. But yeah, we move. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Happy the Prem's back. Happy football's coming back in general. Happy to see your face. It's been a while. It's been
a long time, bro. I can't lie.
I think it's actually the first video we've been on together since lockdown, which is, I was thinking about it earlier, 6 months pretty much to the day. So,
wow.
It's been a while.
I've missed you, bro. I can't lie.
I've missed you too. Where are we starting off today, Sam?
So yeah, we're starting at Arsenal. They've had a decent few days, I can't lie, after watching their team take apart Fulham 3-0, and then they witnessed their star striker Aubameyang sign the ting, as he kept on saying on Tuesday. And it also could get better, as the Mirror have reported, and it's been reported for the last few weeks, that they are in for two midfielders. If you don't know their names, then you have not been watching Transfer Talk or Euro Transfer Talk. Obviously, that's Atletico Madrid's Thomas Partey and Aouar from Lyon. So the buyout clause for Atletico Madrid's Partey is 50 million euros, and so far it's a bit steep for Arsenal. They've been able to raise a few funds with the selling of Martinez, who joined Aston Villa for £17 million this week, and they're also looking to sell Lucas Torreira, who's now fallen out favour under Arteta, which can also get them another 20 million euros. And also Kolasinac and Guendouzi are on that list as well, but those are literally just to make bids. The bids, the teams, Lyon and Atletico Madrid, are kind of trying to stay stush with the players. I know Atletico Madrid especially do not want to lose Partey. But Lyon sporting director Juninho has also revealed that Aouar has been discussed between him and Arsenal's director Edu, but an offer has not been made to the club. And his contract is running till 2023, so he would likely cost 45 to 60 million pounds, and obviously Arsenal do not have that as of yet. But that means, despite reports, the Gunners will realistically have to get either him, Aouar, or Partey, or both of them if they can make the funds. But how would they fit in at Arsenal, Mikey?
Yeah, it's hard to see them going for both of them as things stand. Just based on their kind of current finances and their general track record in the market, I'd be surprised to see them land two big targets like them in the final weeks of the window. But we might be proved wrong. Who knows? Arsenal fans, let us know what you think. If you think that is possible in the comments below. But I digress. Starting with Thomas Partey, obviously one of the standout defensive midfielders in Europe last season. He was averaging 5 tackles and interceptions a game in the Champions League. Very, very impressive, and also the most in the Atleti squad. So he was their destroyer-in-chief, as he kind of has been in the last kind of 2-3 seasons as it is. But he's not just, he's not just a defender. He's very good in ball progression, key to the Atleti side in this sense. His 83% pass accuracy in La Liga isn't the best on paper. That rises to 86% in the UCL, which is a bit better. But it is pretty good in the context of a Simeone side, because obviously they like to play quite vertically on the counter. Not much, sideways passing going on in the Atleti team in that sense. They're not keeping hold of the ball for very long periods. In that sense, actually, that kind of pass percentage is pretty decent. And he also completed over 5 long balls per 90 in the Champions League as well. Again, very impressive. Completed 6.6 progressive passes in the league, and also led the Atleti squad. For passes into the final third with 6.3 per game. Only Hector Herrera came close to him in that metric. And as for Arsenal, only Guendouzi, who, as you were saying, is out of favour, posted better in that regard. He's also a confident dribbler as well. He completes around 2 a game with a 91% success rate. So he very rarely loses the ball, if ever. I think Arsenal, it's obvious to see why Arsenal want him. I think the only question mark is perhaps the fact they'd probably have to give him a fairly big contract, and he is 27. So, if his game were to decline at all in the next few years, then maybe they would be stuck a little bit. But I wouldn't be that concerned as an Arsenal fan. I think, I think he would bring a lot of composure to that midfield. As for Aouar, though, potentially a more exciting signing. He's obviously only 22. That means he's 5 years younger than Partey. And if you haven't seen him play already, where have you been? Obviously, he's
absolute baller.
Absolute baller, exactly. He obviously came to a lot of people's attention in the Champions League knockouts this summer, didn't he? He really made the headlines as Lyon made that unlikely kind of dash for the semi-finals. However, he's been on our radar for 2 or 3 years now. He's been a pretty consistent performer for Lyon in that time. I think he got 3 goals and 4 assists this season, which was down on 7 goals and 7 assists in 18-19. However, he did play a lot less. Obviously, the Liga season got curtailed early, didn't it? But yeah, in the Champions League this season, amazing to watch. He was completing 3 dribbles a game in French football, but that actually went up to 4.4 in the Champions League, which is unsurprising considering how great he was in the transition for Lyon in those big games. Also a goal threat as well. He takes 2.1 shots a match. Around half of those come inside the box as well. I think the one, not downside, but one area of his game which is probably a little bit deficient is in passing and creating. He only made 1.1 key passes per 90 last term. That was actually down from 1.3 the previous season. And as for in kind of comparison with Arsenal's kind of players, Lacazette, Willock, Ceballos and Pepe all beat him in this regard. So he wouldn't be necessarily someone Arsenal would want to get in for his creative qualities. He's not that big a ball progressor either. I think his 5.1 progressive passes a game ranked him 7th in the Lyon squad. So I guess, I don't know, in terms of his passing, not the maybe not his strong point, but his dribbling is I guess what makes him stand out, and would be I guess what Arteta really sees in him. And obviously technically he is just brilliant, and at 22 there's a lot of he's got a lot of improvement in him. Sam, you seem pretty excited about this.
Yeah, I can't lie, I think these are actually exciting times for Arsenal, and I hate to say it, genuinely hate to say it, because their fans irritate me a lot, But what Arteta has done to their squad, he seems like he's brought in a confidence, he's brought in a belief, he's brought in a family type of vibe that they were missing under Arteta, and obviously Freddie Ljungberg wasn't made for the job. But since Arteta's come in, the confidence that he's brought to the club, even during the whole situation with Aubameyang, he was like, yeah, don't worry, it's gonna be done. And seeing that as a fan, you'll feel confident. And even obviously Fulham, they just came up to the Premier League. You would have expected Arsenal to win that game, but it's the way that they played, it's the togetherness that they showed. If they can actually get these quality players coming in, I genuinely do believe Arsenal will be challenging for more than just the top 4 with the squad that they have. But who am I? What do you reckon?
I agree. To be fair, I think that the really positive thing is with this, we can speculate as to what Arsenal need in that midfield, what they don't need, and personally, I think maybe Partey is a more surefire player to upgrade that midfield, whereas maybe Aouar shares a lot of qualities with Ceballos. Do they desperately need a player like Aouar, although he will only get better and better? But like you're saying, Arteta's brought such a cohesion to that squad, and okay, we'll see how good they really are when they play against the better teams this season. But he seems to just have a lot of control there, and I think in terms of the kind of the respect that he commands as well, the fact that he clearly is a fan of Aouar and clearly already holds a decent amount of power in terms of what Arsenal are doing with their contract situations and what they're doing in the transfer market, makes me think that he'll probably make a success of whoever comes in. Potentially very, very exciting times for Arsenal. I have my doubts whether they'll be able to get both of them, but if they can get one of them even, that would be a very positive move. Arsenal fans, what do you make of this? Do you reckon your club could get both of these players, as the reports this week are suggesting? But if not, who would you rather Partey or Aouar? I would say, vote in the poll, but polls don't exist anymore, so let us know in the comments. Our next section is EFD fixes. If you're not familiar with transfer talk in the last month or so, it is a new section where we look at one of your club's main targets and find an alternative, essentially, if that fails to happen. We've actually got two targets we're looking at today because we usually do transfer shocker at the end, but believe me, weirdly enough, the last week there's not actually been that many crazy rumours. There have been some crazy rumours like Bale to Tottenham, but they have actually, they've actually got a little bit of substance to them. So I couldn't really find that much, but we've got two fairly interesting ones to go for today. We're kicking off with Man United because Sergio Reguilon obviously was a big target for them in the last few weeks, but that looks to have fallen through completely now, right?
Yeah, unfortunately for United, another transfer just escaping them, you know what I mean? I think that looked like a very good signing that they were going to get. But as you said, Tottenham are now set to complete the signing for the Spanish left-back. It was reported by Fabrizio Romano on Wednesday that Spurs have agreed a 30 million fee with Madrid and have also agreed personal terms with Reguilon, who will sign a 5-year contract at the club. The 23-year-old is actually keen to move to United, mainly because of Champions League football and most probably because the squad is much better. But the Red Devils were not keen on Real's demands of a buyback clause, and I think that was the biggest factor for that deal going towards Spurs. They also apparently wasn't keen on paying £30 million up front, instead of favouring a €20 million move with add-ons. So with Spurs, Los Blancos will have a buyback clause worth around €45 million, but who should United sign next? That's the big question. They've obviously got Shaw, they've got Williams, and it doesn't seem like it's enough going forward. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing. Shaw and Williams, although they kind of they played pretty well at points last season, to be fair. Neither of them really offered that much going forward. I don't think either of them actually got a goal involvement, or at least didn't get an assist in the league last term. And just to say, this Reguilon deal could even be done by the time this goes out as well, because the situation did move pretty quickly in the last 2 days. Obviously, we filmed this on a Wednesday and it's out on a Thursday. But yeah, United, there are other options out there for sure. The perfect alternative for me would have been Watford's Pervis Estupiñán, who was a standout fullback in La Liga last season on loan at Osasuna. Excellent in the Spanish top flight. But the Ecuadorian left-back completed a £15 million move to Villarreal this week. So United may have missed a little bit of a trick there in putting all their attention on Reguilon. Porto's Alex Telles as well, also a player who's been linked a lot this summer. But we're going to look at AZ Alkmaar's Owen Wijndal today. I feel like this is a player we haven't spoken about as much on Euro Football Daily. The Dutchman is only 20 years old, so pretty raw, but he impressed last season. Scored a goal and got 6 assists in 24 appearances from left back for the Dutch outfit. Only Calvin Stengs got more assists than him in the AZ squad. And his underlying stats look pretty good as well. He creates 1.6 chances a game, completes a rounded dribble, and even takes 1.2 shots. So going forward, he's pretty active. But he's also excellent defensively as well. He makes 3.5 tackles and interceptions a game, which is particularly impressive in a side which averaged nearly 60% possession last term. So it's not like he had that many opportunities to win the ball back in the first place. But clearly he is one of the key ball winners in that squad. And like I said, he's still pretty raw. I think probably the advantage with Reguilon is that he's a bit more of a fully formed left back. He's more experienced as well, and obviously has played in the top 5 league with Real Madrid and Sevilla. So probably would have, provided a bit more kind of concrete, competition, for Shaw and Williams, and probably a step above them as well. So would have slotted in. Like I said, he's still pretty raw, obviously very, very young, but he would provide an interesting alternative to Shaw and Williams, who, like we said, weren't really offering that much going forward last term. I think Williams will improve. I think Wijndal already looks more the real deal, both offensively and defensively, compared to the United youngster. But But yeah, it's a difficult one. I think Reguilon would have been more ideal. I think he would have slotted in at left back a lot more decisively, wouldn't he? He clearly is a step above Shaw and Williams. And yeah, it's just, I guess, a bit of a shame that buyback clause ended up being such a big deal. But what do you make of that?
It's just interesting because my main thing is that Reguilon had such a good season last year. In the Europa League final, he was amazing, probably one of the men of the matches because he was that good, not just going forward, but defensively. He put his body on the line and he really wanted it. And if you have a left back like that wants to come to United, that's actually keen on the project or the team, I think a buyback clause shouldn't be that much of a hindrance to sign a player like that, just because we've seen in the past that buyback clauses aren't always the end all be all. Is like the player doesn't always want to go back. In situations like Kovacic, for example, he came to Chelsea and they had a clause in his contract where he could have gone back, but because he enjoyed the project that was going on, he stayed. It could have been the exact same for Reguilon, especially at a club like Real Madrid where they've actually got left backs, they're churning out. So realistically, if he had a good 2 seasons at United, that could have been him. And then that would have been Williams given the time to kind of learn his craft a bit more without the pressure of playing 20, 25 plus games a season. Shaw will have competition because I don't think he's had that much competition over the years since he's been at United, and it could have been the best thing for United, and now he's going to Spurs, and I genuinely think he's going to be one of the signings of the season.
Ooh, big shout there, big shout. But no, I agree, fantastic signing for Spurs, and yeah, I think I agree on the buyback clause thing as well. I think United, I can see why they rejected the buyback clause, because I think, yeah, you don't want to. I don't know. You wouldn't want Reguilon to suddenly be a key player for United, and then suddenly for him to go back to Real Madrid. And United obviously, have a big history with kind of selling their best players to Real Madrid. But yeah, like you say, Ferland Mendy has got that left back slot down. Would Reguilon in 2 seasons' time realistically want to go back to Real Madrid just to play second fiddle to him, or try and challenge him for that left back slot? I'm not so sure. Obviously Real Madrid are going places, but United could be in a much better place in 2 seasons' time as well. So yeah, a little bit of a puzzling one there for United. Having said that, I do feel like left back isn't the most in need position. I think it's a position that United do need to upgrade in the long term, but in the short term, maybe not so much. So hopefully, I don't know, a player like Wijndal, maybe another year or 2 of development, could be a good option for them. But personally, I think they need to be back on the kind of hunt for a right winger if Jadon Sancho doesn't happen this summer. I think that needs to be the place United are looking at most fervently. Well, we move on to AC Milan, who could have a relatively busy few weeks in front of them. Obviously, they've already made some interesting signings this term. They've got Brahim Diaz in on loan. They've also got Sandro Tonali in. So it could be a potentially very exciting season for fans of the Rossoneri. And one player who we have been expecting to see return to the San Siro this summer is Tiemeoue Bakayoko. But obviously it's been very slow progress in that regard. This week Tutto Sport reported that Milan and Chelsea have been unable to agree a fee, despite the club having agreed personal terms with Bakayoko. Obviously he's very keen on the move back to the club where he excelled back in 2018-19 on loan. However, according to Sky Italia, and this is coming in on Wednesday, a deal is now apparently not far off, with a €3 million loan fee and option to buy for €30 million next summer apparently on the table. Milan previously were not too keen on meeting that 30 million valuation, but they could be now. But all kind of depends on what happens in the next week, because Milan are not in any rush to get this deal over the line. They are at the moment a lot more focused on qualification for the Europa League. They're playing Shamrock Rovers tonight in the second qualifying round, and you'd expect them to get through that. The third qualifying round is next week, next Thursday, I believe. Obviously, this has a bit of a, this plays a bit of a part in terms of their kind of financial planning over the next year. Obviously, qualification will land them a bit more money, won't it? And with COVID and everything, there's just a lot of uncertainty in the ways that obviously clubs all over Europe have been kind of hedging their bets a little bit this summer as a result. So considering how drawn out these negotiations have been and the kind of extenuating circumstances, it would be unwise to call this deal done yet, I'd say. I'm not going to believe it until it happens. So it's only right of us to look at an alternative if they don't get their man, Sam.
Yeah, and that's a player that they've actually been linked with during this window, and that's Lille's Boubakary Soumare. And he could provide literally a good alternative to Bakayoko. He may not have the experience that Bakayoko has. Obviously, he's just 21, 5 years younger, and he's valued a little higher than the Chelsea man at 35 million euros. But obviously, you'll get more years out of him if he does thrive in that position. A defensive midfielder, Soumare only makes 2.6 tackles and interceptions a game, but led the Lille squad last season for passing to the final third with 6.9. That's almost Henderson level of 7.3 for Liverpool last season, while Bakayoko managed 3.9 at Monaco. So the difference is quite a lot. And he also completes 1.5 dribbles a game with a success rate of 88%, while only Renato Sanchez and Jonathan Bamba carried the ball more than him in the Lille squad. However, he didn't contribute to a goal or an assist, and AC Milan clearly favour more box-to-box Bakayoko. I guess he brings more of a different dynamic to the midfield that they already have, with Ismail Benacer kind of carrying out the defensive duties that they need in that midfield. So you can say getting Soumare would be kind of putting another midfielder in place where they've already got that. So I guess it's a good alternative. I believe Bakayoko would be the type of midfielder that they would want, and obviously he's already proven at AC Milan, so that should be the man that they're going for. But if they don't, then I guess Soumare should also be an option. But what do you guys think? Do you reckon Soumare is a good option? Do you reckon they should go all guns blazing for Bakayoko? Let us know in the comments below, and I guess we'll call it here, Mikey.
Yeah, I think that's all we've got time for. If you enjoyed this video, leave it a like. And subscribe to Eurofootball Daily if you haven't done so already. I have been saying it a lot, but I've been looking at the stats recently, and I think around half or just under half of you are unsubscribed. So what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. You join the club. We put videos out like this every single day. I'm sounding like a little bit of a broken record. So Sam, where should they go next if they enjoyed this video?
They should go to FD as usual for all of our football content, but also the podcast channel, podcast weekly on there. We've got more weekend content out, so keep an eye out for that as well. The reaction is out, all of the stuff. This season's going to be a big season, so stay prepped. Turn your notifications on. And stay locked in, because we're doing it big this season. Very big.
We are doing it big. We're doing it big. We might still be in our bedrooms, but we've got big things planned. Euro Roundup coming up on Monday morning as well. Obviously, a lot of the European leagues kicking off this weekend. Keep your eye out for Continental Club tomorrow. I think they're previewing a lot of the kind of the restarts. Lots to get your teeth stuck into. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.